Hello friends, my name is Sonu Singh and you have started watching me through this YouTube channel. So I always come up with the ideas and tricks that can help you to improve your English communication. So many a time it happens that individuals develop a wrong perception that they can only speak good English if they have good command over the grammar and they have huge vocab. But this is something that is completely false. So what is the best way to get the fluency? What is the best way to start speaking flawless English? There's a very famous saying that speaking comes by speaking. It is a skill. I know one thing, that there is not a single skill that can be learned by reading the theory. It means that you have to be practical. You need to follow one path, and that is the path of practice. And when your English communication skill is concerned, then it is very important to be consistent with the practice. So forget about right and wrong. Because this is the one problem that we face, that we always start believing that if I speak wrong English, if I use incorrect sentences, that people will laugh at me. Or we feel that if I'll speak incorrect English, then my reputation is on stake and I will be insulted in the crowd. But this is not the way. If you see a lot of speakers who speak flawless English, amazing English, so we feel very impressed. We feel that I wish I would be speaking English like them. But you know one thing, that there might be a time where they would be struggling with the same problem that you are facing right now. So if you want to improve good English communication skill, then there's only one way, and that is by start practicing, start speaking. And most important thing is that forget about right and wrong. Because if you are a beginner, if you are trying to learn this language, then it is 100% certain that you will commit mistake, because everyone did. This is the process to learn this language. So don't make this false assumption that people will laugh at you, they will insult you. This is just a wrong imagination. Imagination is something that comes from free, but it creates a mindset that is really effective for you. So if you can imagine things for free, of course, so it doesn't mean that you'll always imagine the negative things. Sometimes you need to use your imagination to make yourself positive. And there's a very famous saying that fake it until you make it. So you need to believe, you need to develop a belief system in your mind that yes, you can speak amazing English. So forget about right and wrong and start your journey. Many individuals believe that, okay, I have to learn English. You don't have to learn English, because you are living in such an environment where people prefer this English language. If you go to the textbooks, all the textbooks are in English. You get the television ad, and every ad is designed in English language. So you are surrounded by this environment. There's only one problem, and that is your belief system. So if you have the right belief system that yes, you can speak, and yes, practice is the only way to be a fluent speaker, then definitely time will come when you will start speaking the fluent English. But you need to fight with the hesitation. And what is the problem? Why we develop this hesitation? First, we start believing that one day I'll start speaking fluent English, one day I'll start speaking correct English, but I need to get all the ingredients at the right place. And I can guarantee you one thing, that even if you have all the ingredients at right place, still you will not be able to speak good English. Because skill is something that can be improved. Skill is something that is learned. That same ingredients are available for the different individual, and different individual try to cook that ingredient, but every dishes that is cooked by different individual have the different taste. There's no similarity. So in the same manner, English speaking is a skill, and that means that you can only be a flawless speaker, you can only achieve the fluency if you start your practice. And there's only one way to start your practice, by forgetting that you're speaking right or wrong. Start your journey. There are a whole lot of tricks that can help you to correct your English. But in order to correct your English, you need to start speaking at least incorrect English. There's no other way. And hesitation comes from the negative imagination. Like every time you imagine that if you speak wrong, people will laugh at you. You will speak wrong, and your respect is on stake. There's nothing on stake, because you are a beginner, and it is expected that if you are a beginner, you will definitely commit mistakes and you will learn from your mistakes. So these are just a wrong belief system that you have developed out of your imagination. So these are the things that is going to increase the hesitation in your mind. So if you fight the hesitation, then try to change the imagination and turn it into a positive thought, positive ideas. Many times it happens that if you have the right imagination, if you just start creating the positive ideas, then it boosts your confidence level. And that's what you need to do. So you can fight the hesitation by following the two way. First, you can start practice without thinking about right and wrong. And second, you need to develop the positive mindset. You need to have the right imagination that can actually help you to enhance your confidence. Now let's move on to the next concept, and that is how to speak the correct English. Yes, now you are practicing, you are consistent with the practice, you don't care about right and wrong, and you are doing everything that it takes. So now the next thing is that you need to start speaking correct English. So in order to speak correct English, it is very important to process this language. So what are the ways to process this language? There are many ways. And you know one thing, that how kids learn the language. He don't understand the grammar. He don't prepare the words. He just listen things, he process it, and he starts speaking. So you have to follow the same thing. You just need to expose yourself with this language. So how can you expose and how can you process this language? I want to point out few things. First, you need to do the listening practice. You can do one thing, that go to the YouTube, search the video English lecture with the subtitle. So what is the benefit of listening the video with the subtitle? The first benefit is that you will exactly get the words, that what are the words, now how to pronounce it. Many times it happens that you are studying the grammar, but still when time comes, you are not able to speak properly because you are not able to form the sentences in your mind. So if you listen someone speaking English, then automatically sentence formation start happening in your mind. So first, your mind will be exposed to this language by listening. Second, you will get the correct pronunciation, you will get the correct accent. And second thing is that you can start reading the newspaper. And what is the benefit by reading the newspaper? If you read the newspaper every day, then you will go through some words. Maybe I'm not telling you that you need to read the newspaper and you try to get the meaning of each and every word, because that will be really boring and it is a very cumbersome work. So I'm not telling you to go through all the words, but yes, you can do one thing, that make a fixed formula that you will learn 10 to 15 words every day. How can you learn this? Open a newspaper, try to read the article, and make sure that every day you will search 10 to 15 words. And there's one benefit of technology, that while searching all those words in your mobile dictionary, you can take the screenshot and you can go through these screenshots later in the day when you get time. But focus on one thing, that now you process the same words 3 times. First, you are exposed to the words when you are reading the newspaper. Second, you are exposed to the same word when you are trying to feed all the spellings in your mobile dictionary. So this is the second time that you are being exposed to this word. And third time, when you go through the scrolling of screenshot that you have already taken. And just keep repeating these things. Many times individuals say that I try to learn the words, but I forget it always. But definitely you will forget it because you are not familiar with this language. But if you are consistent with the listening, if you are consistent with the newspaper reading, then what happens, that every time you will be exposed to the same word, to the same sentences and to the same language, and that's how you will be familiar with each and every word and each and every sentence. So in the beginning, the learning ability of the words and the sentence formation will be slower, but with your consistency, you will realize that now your speed of learning is increasing with the time. Many times individuals say that, okay, I want to learn how to speak, but I don't get environment. I can listen, I can read the newspaper, but what about the communication? What about the talking? So you can do one thing, that most of the time we are talking to ourselves in our mind. So nobody is going to care that in which language you are talking to yourself, because everything is going on in your head. So you can do one thing, that whatever you see, whatever ideas come to your mind, start explaining those ideas in your mind in the English language. And the benefit is that you know the grammar, you know some of the words, and when you start explaining everything in your mind, then you will use the word that already exists in your mind. And that's how those words, those concepts will get repeated. And sometimes it happens that you are listening the lecture, you are reading the newspaper, and your brain automatically develops the idea that how to form the correct sentences or how to use the correct words. That's how you'll start forming the sentences, you'll start using the words that you already know. And fourth thing is that you can start writing. Take a paper, take a pen, and whenever you have something in your mind, or whenever you see something around yourself, start explaining everything on the paper. And what is the benefit of doing it? When you write something, it is equal to learning it 5 times. It means that when you write something, your brain processes a lot. And the most important thing is that you can exactly identify your problem, because when you are talking to yourself in mind, yes, you are trying to form the sentences, you are using all those existing words, but it will be difficult for you to get the feedback. It will be difficult for you to identify the weakness and problem area. But when you are writing everything on the paper, you can go through later and you can exactly identify that where is the problem. Whether you have the problem in grammatical section, or you have the problem in the conjunction, or you have the problem with the words, you can exactly identify. And once you know your problem, once you know your weaknesses, I'm 100% sure that you'll get the idea that how to deal with it and how to turn your weakness into your strength. So these 4 tools make a system, and that is called automatic corrective system. Now, in the beginning, what you did, you started practicing without caring that you are speaking right and wrong. But at the same time, you can realize that you are speaking right or wrong. And with the help of these processing, you exactly will be able to correct yourself. So in the beginning, process will be little bit difficult, but I'm 100% sure that if you are consistent with it, definitely time will come when you will be an amazing English speaker. So this is the way of improving your English communication skill, and that's how every individual achieves success. So I hope this video will be informative for you, and if this video is informative for you, then hit the subscribe button, like and share. Thank you for staying with me.